energy, then all those other resolutions are going to be easier to keep, which is how it turned out. One of the things that was draining my energy was just a sticky sense of clutter, that there was stuff in my way, things not in the right place, stuff that didn't work, drawers that didn't close. And one of my first resolutions was to toss and organize. One of the strategies that I hit on was something called the 1-minute rule. And I've heard from a lot of people that this works for them. This is the rule that if something takes less than a minute, you can't procrastinate. If you can read a letter and toss it, if you can hang up your coat, if you can put something back on the shelf, you should just go ahead and do it right away. And what this does is it eliminates kind of that scum of clutter that surrounds you. Another thing along the same lines is I did something called the evening tidy up, which was for 10 or 15 minutes every night before I'd go to bed. I would tidy up. I wouldn't clean, but I would put magazines away, I'd put books on shelves, put clothes away, and that, again, it just eliminates this level of clutter. And here's the resolution. Of all the resolutions that I've talked to people about, of all the hundreds of ones that I've posted on my blog or talked about in my book, this is the resolution that people to me over and over say, this is what really helped me in my life. And that is to make your bed. Why this is the standout resolution? It's so easy, it's so simple, it seems so insignificant, but this is the thing that people mention to me over and over. Okay. Is that better? No? How about that? Is that better? Nothing will make you less happy than not being able to hear. Can you that's so aggravating. So is that better?
Yes.
Okay, great. Another thing that surprised me is when I started, I thought, well, the resources that are going to be the most helpful to me are going to be the universal things, the philosophical frameworks that apply to all of human nature, or the scientific studies that were done on broad populations. But to my surprise, it was exactly the opposite. And the things that helped me most in my happiness project was reading about other people's extremely idiosyncratic happiness projects. So for example, Thoreau did not call his move to Walden Pond a happiness project, but that is essentially what it is. And other people's idiosyncratic happiness projects were the things that taught me the most about myself. And in my case, go figure, the person who was the best guide was Samuel Johnson, the brilliant British writer from 300 years ago, wrote the English dictionary, a very, very eccentric man. I have nothing in common with him, but it was to him that I would look for the best insights about myself. And for example, he wrote, just as a throwaway line, abstinence is as easy to me as temperance would be difficult. And when I read that, I thought, that's me. I can go cold turkey, but I cannot indulge in moderation. And that's when I had my insight into the abstainer-moderator split. Abstainers can give things up altogether. They can say, I don't eat French fries. I never eat cheese. And they can be fine with that. Moderators can say, I'll have 2 Hershey's Kisses, but not 10. Or, I eat dessert on special occasions, but not all the time. But they don't give things up altogether. And this turns out to be an important insight to have about yourself, because resisting temptation is a very important happiness challenge. The #1 resolution for Americans is to lose weight, and resisting temptation is a big part of that. So knowing whether you're an abstainer or a moderator is a big help. So I had to give up this. This is a chocolate chip cookie that you can buy in any deli in New York City, which means that you can get one on every single block. And I was eating 2 or 3 of these a day. And I was eating them instead of eating real food because I love them. And I said to my sister, I have to give up those chocolate chip cookies. And she said very sensibly, you're very healthy, just have 1 a day or have a few a week. And I said, I can't because I'm an abstainer. I have to give them up altogether. And that's what I did, and it wasn't even that hard. One woman posted on my blog, she said, I always tried to be a moderator, but I realized that I'm an abstainer. So I decided to give up food, flour and sugar, and I lost 47 pounds. And it wasn't even that hard. So again, it's not that one way is better than the other way, it's just a question of knowing yourself. And so it helped me to know myself. But clearing clutter and resisting